Debriefing. Dr. Michael Edison.
Good evening, Dr. Edison. Good evening, sir. Please, take a seat. I have a few questions to ask you. I'm not in trouble, am I? No, of course not. This is simply standard procedure. Oh, okay then. That's fine, I guess. Glad to hear it. Now tell me, exactly where were you when the incident began? Well, let's see. I believe I was in the middle of feeding SCP 391 when I heard the blast. Fearing for my safety, I fled for the near security station, only to find that the security personnel inside had died prior to my arrival. Do you have any idea how they died? No idea, sir. Everyone had a big gash in the back of their head, but it looked like they didn't have their weapons drawn or anything, so I guess they didn't fight back. Interesting. So, what did you do? Well, I took one good look at the security monitors and quickly realized how that we were in the middle of a wide-scale class containment breach. I tried to activate the self-destruct sequence manually, but the detonation system was apparently too damaged to respond. So I sent a message over the intercom ordering all essential personnel to evacuate and ordering all remaining security personnel to enter high alert. And then what? Well, then I noticed that SCP-353, who had breached containment, was being escorted by a number of masked men towards section where we were keeping all of the biohazardous materials from Site 19. So Well, what did you do? I went after them, Die Hard style. I beg your pardon? I went after them, alone. I ran around inside the site, grabbing everything that looked even remotely useful, picked off the masked men one by one using my superior knowledge of Site 17, and squared off with SCP-353 in a climactic showdown inside of the decontamination chamber. Is there any chance you forgot to take your medication that day? Maybe.
Dr. Edison stared at his watch anxiously. He knew there wasn't much time, and the rhythmic clacking of 914 only made him even more aware of it. And then the clicking stopped. Edison's heart skipped a beat as the tiny bell rang, letting him know that it was time to check on his little experiment. Nervously, he slid the door open to take a look at the results. At first, he didn't know what to think. At first glance, it appeared to be an orange helmet, similar to the form of the bulletproof SWAT helmet he was currently wearing. It even had the same kind of property of sticker that his own helmet was labeled with. But upon further inspection, he noticed that the accompanying balaclava appeared to be made of rubber, and that there was some form of breathing apparatus in the spot where one's mouth should be. The doctor scratched his head. Well, it's getting there, certainly. Suddenly, the radio Edison was carrying on his belt sprung to life. "Hey you," it said. "You there, by 914. With a sigh, Edison handed the orange helmet to his assistant, who was similarly decked out in SWAT armor. "Please run this through 914 with the helmet 3 on very fine, will you? I need to take this call." Wordlessly, the assistant accepted the helmet and stiffly carried it to 914's input chamber. Edison, meanwhile, took the opportunity to answer the radio. "Hello."
"What the hell did you think you're doing?"
screamed the man at the other end.
"We're in the middle of containment breach, and you're playing dress up. Does that seem like a good idea to you?"
Hey, don't worry about me. Look, everything's under control. Okay, everything isn't under control. But you have better things to do than worry about some lone wolf renegade action movie star type thing. You should get out of here before the shit hits the fan, because if I can't stop Vector, we all die.
Well, I'd love to, but I'm trapped in a security station. The ceiling behind me collapsed, so the door's jammed behind a huge pile of...
What is it?
Apple seeds.
What?
A huge pile of apple seeds.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Did you just say you were stuck behind a pile of apple seeds?
Yes, apple seeds. The door is stuck behind a fucking pile of apple seeds. Why the hell are there so many apple seeds? I can't take all these apple seeds and all these apple seeds days and nights and nights and days, and I can't stand it anymore. Why won't these just apple seeds, apple seeds, apple seeds?
Edison paused for a moment to let the man cool off. He could hear a faint sobbing through the radio. Nice to see you too, Dr. King.
Debriefing, Dr. King. Now, Dr. King, from what I've heard, you've played an instrumental role in directing the flow of information during the incident. Can you please describe exactly what you were trying to accomplish? Well, I was mostly just trying to find something to keep my mind off what they were keeping me cooped up in there. I mean, it's not like there was much else I could do, other than just watch those stupid monitors and call people with the radio. I've really got to hand it to these guys, though. Whoever designed the security system, that security system was state of the art. I don't think there was a single blind spot in the entire base. I mean, yes, the state-of-the-art security system is a fascinating one, but I'd much rather hear about your involvement with Dr. Edison's recent, adventure. Oh, that. Well, I found Edison with SCP-912 making some kind of state-of-the-art armor, or something using SCP-914. He explained that SCP-353 was making her way to Section, and that unless he stopped her, things were going to get like a million times worse. I see. And how did he plan on doing this? Well, he never explained the whole thing, but he assured me it was extremely clever, intricate, and well thought out.
I'm going to do something extremely clever, intricate, and well thought out. That's going to stop Vector and save the world. I'll get back to you when I know exactly what it is.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, kid, said Dr. King, but Vector's 5 stories down and the insurgents are practically there. You'd have to move at the speed of sound to make it down the stairs in time.
Edison chuckled. Who said anything about stairs?
He screeched to a halt in front of a doorway he'd been looking for, stepped aside, and found himself in an enormous white room, whose only features was a small blue pinwheel sitting upon a pedestal. Oh no, said Dr. King. You gotta be kidding me.
Yep, said Edison. I'm going to use 161 to drill a hole down to sector, 1 floor at a time, and assault them from the front, holding them off until 912 catches up and surprises them from the back. Edison reached into his pockets and pulled out a small squirt bottle, which he used to make a series of red security lasers visible. But first, I need to perform some death-defying acrobatics in order to get past this array of invisible crisscrossing lasers, or else I'll be fried to a crisp.
Ed, you do realize I can just...
Slowly, Edison backed up to the doorway and began to swing his arms and count. 1, 2, 3! And with that, the doctor broke into a mad dash and completely failed to launch himself into a series of amazing front flips and allowed Edison to weave through the beams like a graceful butterfly. The doctor turned red with embarrassment as he fell flat on his face a good 10 feet from the nearest laser.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn these things off before you kill yourself. Why do we even have a room like this?
No idea. It was probably one of Bright's project, Edison said as he pulled himself upright. But regardless, now 161 is about within my grasp. There's nothing left to stop me from saving the Foundation. And then a 9-tailed fox tried to bite Dr. Edison's testicles off.
Oh God! Where the hell did she come from? Why didn't you tell me?
How dare you!
Why does she hate you so much? How should I know? Do something, man! I could turn the lasers back on, but... I don't care! Just... Oh god, she's got my... You okay?
Said Dr. King, his voice slightly distorted by radio static. If you mean, am I still alive? Then just barely, Dr. Edison groaned. Man, I can't believe that bitch. She's still worked up about that?
About what?
Said Dr. King. Well, you know, that little disclaimer about not calling 953 Kitsune?
Yeah.
Let's just say I watched too much anime and I'll leave it at that. Dr. Edison attempted to produce a faint chuckle from his lame joke, followed by a deep hacking cough. She's still in there, isn't she?
Yep, just outside the doorway.
Probably waiting for me to start running. Damn it. The doctor slowly began to push himself off the floor, only to have the tip of his nose burnt off by one of the containment beams. Well, at least I can still move.
Just hang tight, Ed. I'll try to find someone to pick you up.
No way. We're on the clock here, remember?
Yeah, but...
Just listen to me, damn it! The doctor shouted. Everything's going to hell anyway, so what do you care if I die attempting some sort of ridiculous action movie hero plan? This sort of disaster happens only once in a lifetime, and I'll be damned if I spend it sitting in a corner holding my eyes closed.
Are you trying to tell me something?
I am trying to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you something! Yeah, I'm trying to tell you something, all right? Dr. Edison took a deep breath. It's game day, King. And it's not just any game, King. It's the World Series. And we've been playing for the Stanley Cup. The other team's up by a field goal. And it's the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, fourth down. Our star player is in the penalty box. And the big man's about to wreak some havoc on the court. Dr. King was speechless. So, do you want that gold medal? Or are you going to take a penalty kick with the rest of those losers?
I don't even know where to begin with that,
said Dr. King. That's what I like to hear. Now, on the count of 3, I want you to turn off the containment beams so I can grab 161. Ready?
Now wait a second. I never said I would...
1, 2, 3! In a flash, Dr. Edison jolted upright and sprinting towards the pinwheel, ignoring the stinging from his enormous wounds. Moments later, 953 burst through the door and began to chase after him.
Get out of there, Ed,
said Dr. King. No! I got a head start! I can make it! I can make it! I can... Security log. Excerpt from section Security footage. An unidentified body, presumably belonging to Dr. Edison, falls through the ceiling and lands in the men's room of section. An audible snap is heard, implying that Dr. Edison broke most, if not all, of his bones.